This scarf is called Ocean Waves because if you look at it closely, it's like a wave. Whoops, sorry about that. It's like a wave that goes up and down all the way around. According to the directions, it is a 24 stitch repeat. So if you wanted to make it longer, you'd have to cast on 24 more stitches. If you wanted to make it a little shorter, you would do 24 less stitches. I'm going to go ahead and make it the full size, so it'd be 5 inches wide by 57 inches long. Now this thing is knitted this way. So if you wanted it wider than 5 inches, just add more yarn and keep on going, and you can make it as wide as you want. They're specifying 2 balls of Cadia Concept Cotton Merino Blend, which are 115 yards apiece, and you need 2 of them. That may or may not be an available yarn. You would hold 2 together. So since this is a DK weight, holding 2 together would make it more of a worsted weight. So it specified a 10.5 needle. Or 1 ball of Boboli lace, which was a really neat yarn. I think this was made with Boboli, but that definitely has been discontinued a long time ago with 350 yards. So what I found was a ball of Encore. This is shades of green. It's an old color spun color that they don't make anymore, but it's a neat combination. They said it's number 7826. If somebody might have some on Etsy or Amazon, you might be able to get a ball. There's 200 yards on this, so I'm hoping 200 yards would make one 5 inches wide. If not, however wide I can get it is how wide it's going to be. The last 3 or 4 I made of these sold as fast as I made them, so I don't have a finished product to show you. So the finished product you'll be able to see. I'm going to put it on just before the video starts, and of course you'll see it at the end. But this will take a little bit of time to do because it is so long and it's knitted lengthwise. So you're going to need a long needle. Here it says a 32 inch. If you can't find a 32, a 36 inch would also be comfortable. 29 might be a little short, but I'm going to do it on a 36. I think I'll do a size 9 because this is Encore and it's 8 is considered the right size. And I think if I did it on a 10, it might be a little bit too loose. But I could try it on a 10 and see what happens and just forget the 10.5. There's not much difference in size-wise between a 10 and a 10.5. Like this is a 10, and that's a 10.5. And you can see size-wise, there's really not a lot of difference in the width. So I think, well, I could probably do it on the 10.5, see what happens. It'll just make it a lot looser and probably softer. You can use any yarn you want. You can hold 2 strands of DK weight together to make it like this one. That's why it's got the variations in shades, because they're 2 different yarns held together. Or you can use 1 worsted weight yarn. If you wanted to use a chunky, you could, but it'd make it extra thick and bulky. That would be your choice. But I'm going to do it with Encore color spun, and I'm going to go ahead and use the 10.5 needle. I just have to go get myself a 32 or a 36 out of my room. So I'll be back shortly with the new needles, and then we'll get started. Okay, I pulled out 2. My 10 is 32 inches. My 10.5 is 29. So I think I'll go ahead and use the 10 because it's a longer needle. And I'll put the 29 back. Oops. Okay, so let's get started. Cast on 202 stitches. This is going to be a long way across. What I will do is pause between the beginning and the end because it's very repetitive, and I don't want to bore you with repetitive nonsense. So I'll go ahead and cast on the 202, and I will knit the 4 rows. Since you know how to cast on, we have no problem there, and you know how to knit, so we have no problem there. So I'll go ahead and do these, but I will be back for row 1, which is the beginning of our wave stitch. Okay, I've got the 4 rows knitted. As you can see, I'm using my circular needles. This is a 32. Now, if I had a longer needle, they wouldn't be as puckery here, but as you knit, it slides around. The markers just represent every 50 stitches. So when I did my cast on, I'd have all 202. All right, so let's get busy with row 1 of the pattern. Evidently, we have a 5 stitch border, so have 5 at the beginning and 5 at the end. Let me enlarge this so we can see it a little better. Okay, let's get started. Now I won't do the whole row, but I'll do a couple of repeats so you can see how it goes. Okay, we start with knit 5. Let me get this out of the way. So we're going to knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we knit 2 together 4 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're doing what they call an increase. I did not write that on here. I really should have wrote on there the word increase. So it should say increase 8 times. And then this tells you how to do it. Okay, so to increase, we knit in the front and back of the same stitch 8 times. So here's the front and back. So there's 1, front and back is 2, front and back 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's my increases. Okay, now we knit 2 together 8 times, and then we repeat. Okay, let's say knit 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the reason the first time we only did 4 over here is because we wanted to set up the pattern, and then the increased ones made it curve this way, and when we knit them together it curves this way. So we're going to go 8 increases, 8 decreases, 8 increases, 8 decreases all the way across. So at this point I'm going to put a marker because I want to make sure I always do 8 and 8. Now it says repeat from star, which is right there 8 times. So we start with our increase. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, halfway there, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've got my 8 increases. Now we have to do 8 decreases where we knit 2 together 8 times. So it's 1, 2, 3. Let me get this marker off. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there was another repeat done. So now I'm going to put a marker, because after you do the 8 increases and 8 decreases, that's one pattern. So we want to do this 8 more times. When I get to the end, we'll come back. Okay, I found out the increase is only, repeat is only 7 times. And then I have a little spot here I missed. You're supposed to increase 8 more times, but then you only knit 2 together 4 times. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to increase 8 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've got my 8 increases. Now it says to knit 2 together 4 times and knit 5 for the border, so should come out right. So we're going to knit 2 together 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and yep, we got 5 stitches left. I just forgot that one little section where you increase 8 times. Okay, so now row 1 is done. Now row 2 is knit 5 yarn over knit 1, repeat to the last 5 stitches. Well, we've done that before, but I'll get it started, but I won't make you watch the whole thing. Yarn gets twisted once in a while. Now if you notice, when I got to the end here, instead of picking up this and knitting it together, which would form a ring, I don't want to do that. I want to keep them separate. So after I've done those last 5 stitches, I turn it over. So now my right needle becomes my left needle, and my left needle will become the needle we knit onto, just like we're doing straight. I'm getting near the end of row 2, so I'm going ahead and completing it here. It's all been the same, where I did a yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1. Do this to the last 5 stitches. Now you end with a knit 1. There's no yarn over after this knit 1 when you get to the last 5. I'm getting close. Yarn over, knit 1. Now let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to do 2 more. Yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 1. Now I knit the last 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now that I've completed that, we don't pick up this over here and knit like this, because if we did that, we would be joining together in a circle, which we don't want to do. So what you do instead, like on the previous row, turn the needle around. So now your right needle becomes your left needle. And then when you pick up your left needle, it now is your right needle to do the knitting. So you're basically knitting like that, back and forth, and it'll get wider, but it won't connect. If you ever connect it together, then it's a circle instead of a scarf. All right, let's go to the next one. Row 4, knit 5, then you knit 1, drop the yarn over, repeat to the last 5 stitches. Okay, so we'll knit 5. Okay, now we knit the knit stitch, drop the yarn over, knit the knit stitch, drop the yarn over, knit the knit stitch, drop the yarn over. You can always tell which is the yarn over because it always has a big hole. And you can tell the knit stitch because there is no hole. And just do this all the way across. Oops, I dropped one off. Definitely got to get that back up on there because we have to knit it. So if you drop one, take your time, and if you have to, use your right hand needle to pick up the stitch that you drop off, because you definitely want to make sure you get all your stitches. Now you see with the drop stitch that you dropped off, you got this nice long stitch here, and you do it all the way to the other end, and then you knit the last 5. We'll meet you back here when we get close to that end. I forgot to say, when you get to the markers, you want to keep them on, because the markers is what divides your individual patterns up. So if you can get your 8 increases and 8 decreases between the 2 markers, and you know you've got the right stitch count. If you're off by 1 or 2, it's great to find it now and not find it in the next roll. So we'll just go ahead and knit over to this marker. See, I'm still dropping my yarn overs, just knitting the knit stitches. Okay, knit this one. And I knit this one. But now I want to keep the stitch marker, so I'll slide it over onto the right hand needle, drop the yarn over, and continue. As you can see, that marker is still there, letting us know where our end of our pattern is. And then the next one is here, and we do the same thing. We'll knit the stitch, slide the marker over, and drop the yarn over, and do it all the way around. Okay, I'm getting near the end of this row. Let's see, I'll go ahead and finish it. You knit the one and drop the yarn over, just like we've been doing all the way across. Let's see, getting close. As you can see, since it's a very repetitive roll, that's why I only did a few in the beginning, and I'm doing a few at the end, because it's all the same. And then I knit the last 5. Okay, that ends the roll. And as you can see, it doesn't show it too well here, but this part moves in this way a little bit, where this one goes like that. That's what's causing the wave. As you can see, it's starting to form the wave. All right, let's go to the next page. Five through 9, you repeat rows 1 through 4 again. So I'm going to go back to here, and I repeat these 4 rows again. And according to the directions, we do it for 3 more repeats and then knit the last 4. You can see right here where it kind of curves. So I'll go ahead and get like rows 5 through 12 done, and I'll come back and then we can talk about the rows 11 through 16. Thought it might be a good idea to show the repeat of row 1 again. Well, I've knitted the 5. Now it's knit 2 together 4 times. And that'll get us ready to start the actual full repeat. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're ready to start the repeat, because it's what's in the parentheses from there to there. Okay, let's try again. So it is knit in the front and the back of the first stitch. We're going to do this 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we did the first half. Now the second half is knit 2 together 8 times. And this marker is in the wrong spot. Oh, I guess it's not uncommon that things shift over when you're actually working with stuff. So let's try it. 1, 2, take that off. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then now we got to do our increase because that's what flares it this way. So repeat it again. So we start with the knit in the front and back of the same stitch. We do 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then we knit 2 together 8 times. 1, 2. I guess the markers are not needed after all, so let's make them go away. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there's 2 repeats done. And you can really see the way, how the wave is starting. All right, I'll go ahead and finish it. I just wanted to show you about the markers. So evidently the markers really don't do us a lot of good because it shifts over 4 stitches, and probably when we do the repeat again, it'll shift over 4 stitches also. So we don't need to worry about the markers after all. Okay, I'll go ahead and finish. Okay, I've completed rows 5 through 8. I haven't done 9 through 12 yet, but I wanted to show you what it looks like. See how it automatically sets itself up in a wave? Because these were knitting 2 together, so we're forcing them together, where this one over here we're increasing, so it spreads it this way. So I just want to show you how it's coming along. I've already repeated rows 1 through 4 the second time. Now I'm going to do 9 through 12. Now what you can do is, you didn't see me do 5 through 8, but it was repeated of rows 1 through 4. So you can just rewind the video and go back and watch 1 through 4 again, just to make sure you're able to complete each row completely. You can go back each time until you get all 16 rows done. And I'm going to find out how much yarn you need for the bind off, because you need quite a bit of yarn to bind off. So you want to make sure you don't run out of your yarn before you do your bind off. So I will continue with rows 9 through 12 and see you in a little bit. I've completed rows 9 through 12, which is repeating rows 1 through 4, and I've also done 13 through 16. And then it says for the top border knit 4 rows. So you can see where I'm at. I switched with 36 needle. The needle I had was only 32, and it was really too bunchy, but you can really see how the wave goes at this point. Now I said it would be roughly 5 inches. It's kind of hard to see this one. Let's see, where's the 5-inch mark? 5 inches is right there. So if I did this, I'm at about 4 inches, and I still need about, maybe another 4 rows. Well, I'm to the point where I need to do my final 4 rows. So this one's going to be a hair less than 5 inches. Maybe right here it'll come out at 5 inches. Yeah, from there to there is 5 inches. I guess because it's still on the needle up here, it doesn't go all the way up like with this one where it goes all the way down. Because this here is right now about 4 3/4 inches. I know it's hard to see. 4 3/4. It's supposed to be 5. And I've already got 2 rows done on the border. So I still have 2 more rows to go, and then I'll do the bind off. And I'll show you the loose bind off, because I know a lot of individuals bind off too tight, and then it winds up like this, really scrunched together. And you want it to be, the top to be as loose as the bottom. So I'll show how this one is done. It's really easy, and you can use that, or you can always go up 1 size in your needle. So when you do your bind off, you bind off with a 10.5 or an 11, and that will give you a little looseness too. So let me get these last 2 rows done, and I'll be back. I've completed the 4 rows of knit to match these 4 rows of knit. Now I need to do the bind off. I'm going to show you the loose bind off. Let me enlarge this. This bind off is a little bit looser, and it would you wouldn't have to worry about changing your needle sizes. There is also a YouTube video out there called Bind Off Regular, Loose, and Very Loose. It's done by Stitch Niche, so it'll show you how to do them. This is one of these. I think this is the one that I'm showing you right here. And it's pretty straightforward, but it is a little different from a regular bind off. So you start by knitting 2, which is how you would do a regular bind off. 1, 2, but with a regular bind off, you take this one and move it over. This one doesn't. It says return stitches back to left needle, knit these 2 stitches together. So put them back on your left hand needle and then knit them together. Okay, knit 1. Bind off by passing first stitch over second, so this would be like a regular bind off. Knit 1. Repeat to end of row. So where's the other parenthesis? Oh, right there. Return these 2 stitches back to the left hand needle. 1, 2. Knit them together. Knit 1, do a standard bind off, knit 1, put these back on your left hand needle, knit together, knit 1, pass the first one over the second, knit 1, put them both on the left hand needle, knit them together, knit 1, pass over, knit 1, put them both on the left hand needle, knit them together, knit 1, bind off, knit 1, put them back on the left hand needle, knit together, knit 1, standard bind off, knit 1, put them back on the left hand needle, knit the 2 together, knit 1, bind off, and when you look at your work, see how much stretch you have? That is very important when you're working with a scarf. You want a lot of stretch because the bottom has a lot of stretch. So you want the top to have a lot of stretch. Now if I was a little bit looser with my bind off, it would be even more stretchy. But I think this is pretty good. I know it's not quite as much as the bottom, but it still has a nice stretch. I'm going ahead and finish it going across, and I'll meet you back here at the other end. All right, I went ahead and finished binding it off, and as you can tell, it bound off in a nice stretchy edges, and it allows it to do the wave. Now since we have all these drop stitches here which take up like 2 rows versus a single row, it makes all the ends kind of squish in a little bit because there's not as many rows here as here, so it gives the edges kind of a little squishy look to it. I just thought it'd make a nice difference instead of just a plain straight across. Now you could stretch it out if you want to and block it so it's nice and straight like this. I just prefer that look because it's a different style and a different type. So, and I measured it, and without stretching it, it came out to 52 inches. Now if I stretched it out and blocked it, it would be the 57. But you can see how it's got all these little openings where the drop stitches are, which causes the waves. That's why I called it the ocean scarf, because it's very wavy and open. You would do it, I would say, mostly in blues and greens, ocean colors, to give it that nice calm look of waves. Well, thank you for watching. The pattern is available. It's called Ocean Wave Scarf. It is available both on my website, stitchniche.com, as well as on ravelry.com. I do have it on both. You can find many types of yarns on my website. A lot of them can be worked for this because it's, like I said, either use 1 worsted weight or hold 2 sport DK weights together, or use a fingering yarn with a wider yarn to give it a different texture. You can use a sparkly yarn, you could use a fuzzy yarn, you can use plain yarn, you can use a variegated yarn, whatever you want in order to give you whatever type of look you're looking for. So I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit notifications so the next pattern that I do, you'll be notified as soon as it comes out, and please share it with your friends. And again, thank you for watching.